ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Alhamdulillah. Today's class, we were supposed to resume our course, lectures on the prophets, Qasas al-Anbiya, stories of the prophet. And the last time we met, about 2 months plus ago, we were discussing the prophet Ibrahim. Okay? And so, inshallah, in the light of the current crisis that we find ourselves in, I want to weigh in on that. So I'm going to put that aside for now. And today's session, it'll be a long session somewhat. It'll probably take up an hour, a little more. Okay, which is normally the duration of our class, usually like an hour and a half. You see, so I might be able to do it in an hour, But I want to weigh in on this on the political brutality and the racial injustice that's going on. Okay, that culminated, a couple of weeks ago with the murder of George Floyd. So I want to weigh in on that because I think it's something that's important that needs to be addressed. And of course, people all over the country and all over the world, even the president of Turkey weighed in. I was shocked. Erdogan, he weighed in and said his comments on the issue. It touches people who have any humanity, and that's why when you look in the streets, at all these demonstrations, you see all kinds of people, black, brown, people of color, white, it doesn't matter. People outraged over what's going on. And so I want to weigh in on it, it's important, and I want to be able to inspire those of you who are present and those who view this lecture or this workshop, if you will, or this class that we're having on this issue of police brutality and racial injustice. That's what we're talking about today. I want to start first by reminding us that the Prophet ﷺ, was very sensitive to injustices. He was always concerned about people being oppressed or treated unfairly. And he was always ready to intervene and do his part to set things right. And we read in the story of Hilt al-Fudul, and when we read the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ, we learn, that, he mentioned to us in the hadith and in the seerah, it's reported, that when he was young, he said, when I was young, I witnessed, a meeting of the elders of the Quraysh, or the leaders, who came together because a man came to Mecca to do some business and he got ripped off. He was cheated out of his merchandise or his money. And he came to the Quraysh and asked for redress, asked for redress. This is unjust. This is not fair, you see. And so they felt bad that they, and so they were able to organize themselves and say, wow, this makes us look bad, and we must not allow any kind of oppression and injustice to take place in our society. So therefore, they made a pact, an agreement, you see, to make sure that no one that visits their city would be oppressed in this way, would be treated unjustly in this way, and you see, and that they would be treated fairly. All right? So they made a pact, or a covenant called Hilt al-Fudul. You see, the Prophet ﷺ said, had something come before me today, while I am the prophet of Allah, but this happened when he was young, before prophethood. If something like that was organized to make an agreement to do good and protect the rights of the weak and the oppressed, he said, I would join it. I would join it. Think about that. Okay? Another narration, that's in the hadith, in the seerah, in the early days of Islam, again, that shows again the sensitivity of the Prophet on issues of injustice. And a similar situation happened, like that happened when he was young. But now he's the Prophet of Allah now. In the early days of his da'wah, a man come to Mecca to do business with Abu Jahl. You understand? He gave his merchandise or his money and didn't receive what he was supposed to get. You see? Abu Jahl didn't pay him for the merchandise he received from the man. You know? Another ripoff. So he goes to the Kaaba where, again, the elders, the leaders of the corporation sitting there, right? And he goes to them and says, look, I come to do business in your town, and I got ripped off by one of your colleagues, Abu Jahl. So, who can help me? Who can help me? Who can help me? And so the Prophet Muhammad was sitting, in one of the corners of the Kaaba nearby, making zikr, praying, And so the chorus, they start, laughing under their breath. They pointed to the Prophet, go see him. Go see him. You see? And the reason they pointed him to the Prophet, they figured like Abu Jahl was one of the greatest enemies of the Prophet in Islam. You see, so they wanted to start something, they wanted to stir something up between the Prophet Muhammad and Abu Jahl. So you go to Muhammad and get Muhammad involved to go to Abu Jahl, to get redress for you and get justice for you. You see what I'm saying? So they were like, snap laughing, go and see Muhammad over there. And guess what? The man went and told the Prophet Muhammad, Abu Jahl, he did business and he didn't pay him. What? The Prophet said, what? Angry. Come with me. And they went to Abu Jahl's house. Abu knocked on the door. Abu Jahl opened the door, and, make a long story short, the Prophet demanded, did you do business with him? Pay it. Give him his merchandise. And Abu Jahl gave it. He gave it. The Prophet demanded it, he gave it. So again, my point is, and there's much more to the story, my point was that the Prophet interceded. You see? To solve that problem, to bring about redress, and to solve this issue of injustice. So that's how he was. He got involved with people. He got involved with people that needed his help. See? So, I wanted to give you that first. And Allah SWT says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kunu, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kunu qawamun bil qist. Oh, you believe. Stand up firmly for justice. Okay? Stand up. Be firm. Stand up. See? Come on, stand up. Be this for justice. Stand up. Be firm. Be advocates. You see? Be defenders of justice. Help the oppressed. Help those people who are being treated unjustly. Justly. This is the commandment. You see? So we have the example, from the Prophet ﷺ. Having said that, let me share you a personal story that's connected to what we see, what has happened, what happened, May 25th with the young man George Loyd. Here's a personal experience. Shoaib Abdul Latif. Shoaib Abdul Latif, black, an unarmed 17-year-old, was shot dead by police on the 11th of January, 1994. Wow. So this is touching to me personally. I can relate to that. Living through that. The shooting occurred after 12 police officers raided a residential building, apparently in search of drugs. The officers descended to a basement area where Latif was hiding in a cubicle. A tenant who lived in the building arrived shortly afterwards and approached the police, asking what they were doing there. According to her testimony, Latif began to raise from a stooped position. When he heard her voice, he stood up with his hands raised. This is according to her testimony. The police said, there he goes, and they started shooting Latif. And Latif was shot twice and fell forward to the ground. she then heard a third shot, and then 2 more shots. This tenant was the only civilian eyewitness to the shooting. It was later established that 4 officers had discharged their weapons. One officer, an officer Sherman, was shot in the thigh. I guess friendly fire, okay? A police weapon, although it was not established how this had occurred. In March 1995, a grand jury concluded that no criminal charges should be brought against any officers involved in the incident. We were devastated, man. The Brooklyn District Attorney afterwards issued a statement stating that the grand jury had reached its conclusion after a full review of all the evidence and careful deliberation. The statement then gave a brief summary of the facts and circumstances of the shooting. You know, they go on and on and on. They say, and Shoaib Latif, a 17-year-old unarmed teenager, shot dead by the police in January 1994. Shown with his father, they're talking about myself, by the police, an eyewitness alleges that the police gave no warning. He gave no warning that they were fired at him, although the police alleged that he was accidentally shot during a struggle with the police officer. So their story they made up that Shoaib come out and he started tussling with the police, and in the struggle he got shot. But even though the forensic evidence, showed that he had none of that on him, man. And I know my boy, he wasn't like that. That was my son. Okay? I wanted to share that with you. And so this case here, this personal case that's connected with myself, my own son, who was killed by the police unjustly 36 years ago, 17 years old. Real, all right? And we didn't get no justice. They gave us a little blood money. Everybody gets that. You see? But all the police, they was exonerated. And they still live in the day, and, okay? The police. That's what happened. See? So this idea of police brutality and unjust killing and targeting of black people, black men, it's real. It's not exaggerated, okay? And so I wanted to give you that example, inshallah. So you'll know, And of course, we demonstrated then. Myself, Imam Siraj, all of the imams, all of the Muslims all over. People all over the country, we were very active then. I was much younger then, all right, but we were active. Leaders from all over the country, Al-Shah, all of the black act, everybody was outraged over this. And people protested in different areas, and they followed my lead. As we demonstrated, they had press conferences trying to push the case. We had lawyers and all of that, you see. And people were very hurt by it, And so, but again, the bottom line, the resources that, again, that the law enforcement have is tremendous. So they know how to lie and twist stuff and move forward. They do. So every time they kill one of us, you see what I'm saying? They got a story. So it's the system. That's why people are saying it needs to be changed. The system has to be changed. And no doubt it has to be changed. Or otherwise it will just continue. And they'll give every family blood money. They give you blood money, you know what I'm saying? They call it civil, settlement, you see? But you lost your loved one. And they continue to do what they do. And they got plenty money. They got plenty money to give away for killing people. That don't stop them, you see? So definitely there needs to be a change. There needs to be a change. All right? I want us today to look at what's going on, even with the rioting and the looting and people going off and the burning and all of that. That's minor. Most of the people out there ain't doing that, but that's minor in comparison to what they done did to black people. Nothing. So I wanted us to look, even though we look at that and say, they shouldn't be doing that. You should have to, yes. No. We should demonstrate, we should protest. In other words, we can express our outrage, our anger, our frustration. Yes, 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 yes. But we got to do more than that. When it's all over, when these demonstrations are over, we have to continue to be active. Can't go back home and take a drink and think, okay, then the next one. And that's what they bank on. That's what they bank on. These people ain't going to do nothing. They're going to yell and scream. Common people. Because they ain't organized. They're not behind the leader, leading the way, or leaders, like we had back in the days. I'll come back to that. But I want to put it all in context. In other words, the anger, the justification for the anger and the outrage, and getting to the level where we're tired, we can't take no more. Getting to the level where you broke the, it's the straw that, this incident is the straw that broke the camel's back, as they say, right? Nothing is enough. Why did it happen? It doesn't matter. It happened when it happens. People say nothing's enough. We tired of dying. We tired of losing our children and our loved ones at the hands of the blue wall of silence. This institution that's unfair. That's very systemic in its racism, and brutalization of people of color. Bottom line is real. So let's put it in context, okay? So I want to share with you a document, a resolution, or a formal apology from the United States government. And I'm sure most of you probably don't know nothing about this. A formal apology for slavery and what we went through as a people. And I was struck, as I went over it, I was struck by the language that they used. Okay? So follow me, okay? And I only took some of the excerpts from the document, all right, just to make my point. See, so you'll get it, and the people that hear this lecture will get it, okay? All right? Because unfortunately, we don't read, we don't follow up, we don't know what's going on. And all we can do is we always end up reacting to situations as opposed to acting with knowledge and insight and being organized and being strategic in terms of what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish. So, let me just go through the document right quick. And I want you to reflect on the language that's being used and take notes. Okay? So this is a document, that both houses, the Senate and the House of Representatives, in 2009, at the 111th Congression, they met. This is what they agreed upon. All right? So here's what they said. Whereas forced into slavery, brutalized, humiliation, dehumanized, and subjected to the indignity of being stripped of their names and their heritage, see, devastated us as a people. So they're admitting now, hey, let me move on. Whereas many families were torn apart, separated, and sold separately. Whereas the system of slavery and this visceral means deep-seated racism in them, in their DNA. Okay, visceral racism against people of African descent upon which it depended became enmeshed in the social fabric of America. So there's no denial, brothers and sisters. There's no denial, people. This is our government. They said, hey, it's enmeshed in the society. This racism. So people be walking around like racism don't exist, it ain't real, or you people exaggerating. And when you talk about it, they want to accuse you of being racist and all. No! All right? So this is their language. Whereas slavery was abolished by the 13th Amendment in 1865, whereas after 246 years of slavery, African Americans soon saw the political, social, and economic gains that they had made during Reconstruction period. After the Emancipation Proclamation, they began to, okay, after they were free, they would begin to, reconstruct their lives and economically, so forth and so on, to some degree. To some degree. And although a lot of that is debatable. All right? But all of those things, again, during Reconstruction, evaporated. Everything they gained as a people, was eliminated due to racism, lynchings, disenfranchisement, black code, racial segregation, laws that was imposed, and rigid system of officially sanctioning racial segregation virtually in all areas of life, known as Jim Crow. Jim Crow meaning separate and unequal society for whites and blacks. So when people say there's two societies in America, a white society and a black society, oh, no. You know what they say, yeah. When you look around, those of us who live here and those who know, wow, it is real, okay? Whereas the system of Jim Crow laws officially existed until the 1960s, civil rights movement. So the 1960s, because of oppression, a century after the official ending of slavery. So after 100 years, we're still enslaved by another name, okay? Whereas, now I really want to underscore this one here, whereas African Americans continue to suffer from the consequences of slavery and Jim Crow laws long after both systems were formally abolished, through enormous damage and loss, both tangible and intangible. Those things that you can see, those things you can't see. The psychic, the mentality of the people, how they were devastated by all of these things, man. Can you imagine? But this is the language that they're using. They recognize what they did. Including the loss of human dignity and liberty. Whereas, as the story of the enslavement and the de jure meaning legal, they made it legal segregation of Africans and the dehumanizing atrocities committed against them should not be purged from or minimized in the telling of the history of the United States. Meaning that we should talk about it. And when you talk about it, you should never feel intimidated by people trying to make you, oh, you being racist. Oh, that's past. Forget about it. That happened. Our ancestors did it. What some white folks will do. Don't talk about that. That's racist. That happened, hundreds of years ago. This is a different time now. No, it ain't, because again, the remnants of it is still here. And that's what this whole, and the anger, of course, the response being the anger and the outrage that you see in the streets of America right now. Mm-hmm. So we should tell that history. But many of us, unfortunately, a lot of our younger generation don't know. We don't know. We don't read. We don't study. We don't know. We just move around like, hey, what's up? What's going on, people? So you got to know your history. All right? They did this to us, man. When you look at the condition of the people today, you say, subhanAllah, why black people act like this? And even strangers from other lands come and say, why they act like that? And wake up. Come talk to us. I tell immigrant people all the time, they should sit with us. They should learn from us. They should. They should get our story instead of their story. Immigrant people from all over the world come here and read the history books written by these Same people who oppressed us and treated us like this here and whatnot, and think that's the God's truth. They don't have a clue. They don't sit with us, talk to us, and get our story, or invite us even to some of their masjids to tell it, man. You see? Even though some of them are experiencing some of that kind of discrimination, being Muslim, under the rubric of Islamophobia. But be as it may, it's a history. We have a history, you see. And so we should talk about it, yeah. Keep in mind, the Jewish community, man, they always talk about the Holocaust. The Jewish community, and right, they have a right to do so. They should, alhamdulillah, yeah. Let people, prick people's consciousness, make them aware. What was y'all doing when they were slaughtering us in the gas station? What was y'all doing? What was the world doing? And you got some people walking around denying that it happened. You see? And if we're not careful, people be denying it happened to us. What happened to us? You got to talk about it. You got to put it up, front and center. Make people back up. Make them know you ain't no racist. This is what y'all did. So help people be able to understand the reaction of people. What's going on right now, man? You see? So, whereas as of July 8th, 2003, during a trip to Gore Island, Senegal, I visited that place, the former slave post, that's where they used to bring all of the slaves to and import them throughout the world back in the day. The slave port. That's where they leave from. That's where they keep them in the dungeons until the ships came and loaded them up, like sardines, in a can, and shipped them across America. The Middle Passage. That's the spot. So in 2003, after visiting that spot, it must have touched President George Bush. George W. Bush acknowledged, after visiting there, acknowledged the continued legacy of slavery in the USA and the need to confront the legacy when he states that slavery was one of the greatest crimes of history. He said, quote, "We need to confront this legacy, this evil, this crime, that took place against African Americans." Whereas, all this, I'm reading from a document, man. All right. Whereas President Bill Clinton also acknowledged the deep-seated problem caused by the continuing legacy of racism against African Americans that began with slavery, wherein he initiated a national dialogue about race. Okay. These are two of the former presidents who acknowledged, hey, this evil, this legacy, this injustice, and that needs to be corrected, so forth and so on. Whereas an apology, whereas an apology for centuries of brutal dehumanization, look at the language, dehumanization, okay? And injustice cannot erase the past, but confession of the wrong committed and a formal apology to African Americans will help, hopefully, build or bind the wounds of the nation that are rooted in slavery and can speed up racial healing and reconciliation and help the people of the USA understand the past and thus honor the history of all people of the United States. I'll stop there. And there was much more. I just wanted to share that with you and with our viewers, this talk, as we weigh in on, this current situation, of police brutality and racial injustice, and the reaction to it. the outrage, the anger, and the frustration that's going on. I had some excerpts, that I was putting together, and maybe at another time, just to give you some examples of what took place after the Reconstruction period, or after slavery, and during Reconstruction period, when black people were trying to, empower themselves and build themselves up, then the emergence of the Ku Klux Klan and those kinds of groups came, and they began to intimidate, terrorize, and put fear in the hearts of the African American people. You see, to get them, again, to keep them in slavery. You see, to deny them their rights. To put fear in them. That's what they did. And part of the tactics that they used to put fear in other people, they lynched us. They lynched us like crazy. I mean, like hundreds and thousands of innocent people were lynched for minor things, or for nothing at all, just being black. People were lying on us, so they lynched us. And I read a beautiful article where it talked about who attended the lynchings, because the lynchings became spectacles. People come out and watch, and they have 4, 5, 6, it all depends, and lynch black people, and who would come out to view this? It wasn't just white men, white redneck men from the Ku Klux Klan. No, they had their wives and their children watching, sniggling and giggling and and how they would dismember some of their limbs and use them as trophies and whatnot. But the kids would be there looking at the flies flying around the noses and the eyes of some of the dead corpses hanging from those tree limbs. And they were laughing and giggling. Yeah, mommy, yeah. It became a spectacle. And I'm just paraphrasing some of this, all right, because I have some detailed information. Some of this stuff was documented by one of our icons, of the early struggle about people, W.E.B. Du Bois. In one of his books, he mentioned some of these incidents. So this is the context that I want us I wanted to share with you so that we can look at the bigger picture of what's going on and why people, are upset and outraged and doing what they are doing. Now, even though a formal apology was given, supposedly, I don't know how that impacted the community, because most people never heard of it. Most African Americans is unaware of it, and I'm sure I'm going to get some feedback. I never knew that. Where'd you get that from? Okay, all right. You can Google it up, you'll find it. Okay, all right. All right, and then the hope in this document that it would, by confessing for the crime that was committed against us, hopefully this would bring about some kind of healing. All right, so this was the idea. Okay, all right, or the hope. All right, and so be as it may. Okay, apology is one thing, words is one thing, but we got to see some action. See? So what about compensation now? What about compensation? Hello. And I'm sure most people heard about the 40 acres and a mule. Yeah. Compensation. After the war, African Americans were supposed to have been free. And so General William Sherman, the leader of the Union Army, and his cadre and some politicians, and they got together with some African American ministers and said, well, look, what do you guys want? Because again, they're free. Now, what are they going to do? How are they going to live? How are they going to survive? You know what I'm saying? They used to working on plantation for the owners, for the slave masters. See? So they were told by the African American leaders, we want our own land and property, so we can, build up ourselves and empower ourselves economically, so forth and so on. Make a long story short. So he granted that to them. That's where the 40 acres and the mule came in. You know what I'm saying? 400,000 acres of land that was confiscated, or that was what we call in Islam booty, the war spoils, that they got from the Confederates. They took 400,000 acres of land and divvied it up amongst the freed Africans. And broke down to each one would get, or each family would get 40 acres and a mule. And that was the solution, and that was the promise. But when Lincoln was assassinated, you know what I'm saying? And Andrew Johnson came into power, just like like Trump, when he came into power, he began to abrogate and negate, and dismiss certain policies of, because he was beholden to who? The white landowner who lost that property. They wanted their property back. They lost the war, they lost their slaves, they lost their land, they had nothing. So deals were made, backroom deals were made. And you see, and so they abrogated, that promise. You see, they reneged on that promise. Some say they tricked them. They never intended to give them that anyway. And Allah knows best. But we never got it. You see, so through the centuries, and I remember as a young man, I used to hear this thing about the 40 acres and a mule, the 40 acres and a mule. I never followed up on it. Or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So you say, yeah, you apologize, but you ain't compensated. So look at the condition of the people. Look at the condition of the people. So context. So contextualize all this I'm saying to you in the light of what's going on. What's going on with the riots and the demonstration, what's going on in our communities. That when people come here from other places, some of them have their nose turned up. African Americans, they don't want to be with us. I'm talking about fellow Muslims. Because they don't know. They follow stereotypes. And what people tell them, and what they read in the books that these people write. You see, they have no clue. They don't sit, and they don't come and talk. They don't even know how to, connect with us. You see? So I'm saying what I'm saying because it's heavy on my heart. It's heavy on my heart. I'm getting old now. I don't know how much time I got. I got to say what's on my heart. I got to say what's on my mind. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, oppression is worse than slaughter. Imam Jamil used to say it all the time. Oppression is worse than slaughter, man. To oppress people. And so I see our people, and I have so much empathy, and compassion, and sympathy for our people, even the bad ones. Even the bad ones. I don't have no hatred toward them. Because I understand their condition. And even the ones that's out there looting and all that. And I said, come on, man, you ain't got to do that. I thank Allah, we thank Allah, we're Muslim, that we wouldn't do that. So if people don't have guidance, what else they're going to do? All they need is some guidance. All they need is some guidance. All they need is a kind touch. A kind word from somebody else, and they got some focus, that's got some balance, they understand. They say, hold up, homeboy, you ain't got to do that. You got to do it that way. Struggle, yeah. Be out, yeah. All right, be proactive, get involved, make some things happen, yes. Okay? But this is the reality. So in wrapping this up, again, we didn't get to 40 acres in a mule. So the poverty set in. And that's why over the years, reparation became another issue. And I regret that I never gave it any attention myself, as a leader. I knew about it. I said, yeah, people come to me about it. Yeah, we need to be compensated, but I didn't follow up on it. I let other people do it. Let the activists and the black nationalists, let them argue. Let those Afrocentric, scholars argue for that and get them. Okay, cool. I'm not against it, but I never paid much attention to it. But when you start realizing, when you look at the economic disparity, the idea behind that, man, was to bring us up, man. Why? Because, like white folks, the average white family, earns, 10 times as much as the average black family. 10 times as much. And the average college-educated family, a college-educated person earns 7 times as much as a college-educated black person. Look at the disparity. So compensation, so reparations, they need to pay us. They need to pay us. That's the issue with reparations. And that's why you have people like Cory Booker, who's in the Senate, and others, trying to argue for this, reparation. You got to pay our people, man. Ain't no doubt in my mind we need to get paid. I always believe that. I just just never paid too much time. But I'm bringing it out. Absolutely. You know, they owe us. They owe us. See, they owe the African American community and their descendants. They owe us, man. We have a right to that wealth, man. You know, we built this country. We built on our backs.
Amen.
We have a right to something. You know, and we need it to uplift us. And we never got it. So you apologize all you want. And the words don't mean anything without any action. And so enough action has not taken place to compensate what we went through, what they have admitted, as I read to you, they've done to us. Now how are we going to straighten all this out? So people naturally are tired. They're tired and they're outraged and they're going off, and you know, I look at it and say, mashallah. Sometimes they got to be like that. Sometimes I ain't got no explanation for it. I wouldn't do that. We wouldn't do that. We're Muslim. We have principles. We have guidance. But people misguided, they don't follow up. So we have to pull their coat. We have to teach them. But not in a judgmental way. Oh, you people, you people, you. No. I know some people like that. Oh, why they, don't do that. You know? Put it in context. Everybody, I'm sure you're feeling me.
Yeah.
You have it in context, man. You know? And imagine when the Prophet came on the scene and all the ignorance that he was faced with, you know, all the people, you know, the Arabs and the Quraysh and the oppression and so forth and so on he had to deal with. And then the struggle he had to go through to bring about the change that he had to bring up, that he brought about in the people. So our people like that, we need that. So we have to be patient with our people, you see, and do whatever we can do to help. You see what I'm saying? To remove the burdens that are upon them and the anxieties and the stress that are upon them, okay? And so in closing, yeah. In closing, what is the way forward? What is the way forward, brothers? What is the way forward, people? Tearing up and burning stuff down? No, that ain't the way forward. That ain't the way forward. And the way forward is to keep on keeping on, as they say. Keep on organizing. Keep on agitating. Keep on putting pressure on the powers that be, on the systems, you know, demanding the change. Demanding the change. You know, using the example. You got to use the example of those who came before you. You know? An example that came before us, they put pressure. If we just look at the civil rights movement, the pressure. You know, no individual can do it by itself. No one can do it by itself. You got to have organizations. You got to have leadership. Right now, there's a big void. There's a void in the leadership. You know, there's no organized movement. You need movement. And I always refer back to the days in the 50s and the 60s. You know, Martin Luther King and his people, they organized. They had Jama'ah. They had organization. It was multiple organizations. Many. There were multiple icons or multiple leaders or multiple voices on the same page in terms of social justice, equality, you know, fighting against racism. Well, they may have had different tactics, nonviolence, and you know, you had the Panthers, and you had the Republic of New Africa, and you had all these different groups. You had the NAACP, and you had CORE, and you had the National Urban League, and you had this, and you had that. And you had Malcolm, you had King, you had Stokely Carmichael, you had Smith, and you had Imam Al-Amin, you had all of these voices. So there was a movement that made the difference. And so the pressure of that movement, and you had Elijah Muhammad, you had all, subhanAllah. So people were moving in Jama'ah, people were moving in organized organizations behind leadership. And in each organization, they had multiple leaders, multiple spokesmen. They had one person. Maybe some became more prominent than others, but everybody was speaking. And everybody was moving. And so that kind of pressure brought about the change. Brought about the change. Brought about the change. And that's how it always is. It has to be that way. But of course, you got to have somebody to throw some low blows too. As one of the imams said years ago. Sometimes some of us can operate on the you know, what you call it, the transparent above board level, and sometimes some of us got to throw some low blows. You know what I'm saying? Get people's attention. You know, like I said, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. When you make noise, you know, so we have to continue to put pressure, but you know, putting that pressure on, but we have to be organized. And that's for Muslims and non-Muslims. You got to be organized. You know, when I go back in the 60s, I think, and I look back at the different, you know, models that we had and the workers, and you know, and I tip my hat to them today. You know, I'm not talking about Muslims, I'm talking about non-Muslims. You know? And I remember the days that, you know, even in the early days of the Majlis Ashura in the early 90s, the Majlis Ashura, Islamic Leadership Council of New York, you know, we corroborated and we built coalition with everybody. We worked together, you know, on these social issues, you know, on speaking out against war, you know, the wars that the American government was involved in, we felt was unjust, and we would come out, you know, and the police brutality that was going on in the community, even beyond my son Shuaib and other, you know, Ali Diallo and many others, and whatnot. You know, we were on the front line, you know, alhamdulillah, making noise, you know. And I think about all of those heroes, and to me, they're all heroes. They make no mistake about it. You know, Al Sharpton, you know, he was, you know, Reverend Daughtry, you know what I'm saying? Alone Bay Brass. I remember when my son got to all of them leaders, all over. They came to me, Imam, what you want us to do? Imam, what you want us to do? They were there. Along with, you know, my friends and colleagues, Imam Siraj, Imam Ibrahim, you know, Imam Ali Abdul Rashid, 162. I mean, we were all there, man. Even Minister Farrakhan called me. I remember. You see, organizations, man, being connected, that's how we have to be. So when we move in organization, move in organization, it makes you strong and powerful, man. You're powerful. That's what we need now. You know, and from the mid-1990s to now, between like, 20, 25 years, there's been a gap. There's been a void. There's been no movement in the black community. Black Lives Matter is a recent thing, you know? And so, you know, again, you know, and they're doing what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm sure they're doing something. They're advocates, you know, okay, you know. But we need to ask, what can we do to help? If y'all gonna be, because Black Lives does matter. So I'm concerned with that. You know, I ain't got no problem with anybody joining Black Lives Matter as a Muslim and say, hey, what can we do to help y'all? What y'all want from the Muslim community? You know, we don't need to be spectators because we black. We black. You know what I'm saying? You know, we get harassed by the police. You know, we are affected by this oppression like everybody else, man. And even if we wasn't, it's our duty to stand up for justice, man, and assist the oppressed. You see? So this is what I wanted to say today. I wanted to share with you. And I'm very, you know, I'm speaking from the heart. You know, again, because again, there's a lot of work to do. You know, and I really want to just end by, you know, again, when I say there's a gap, when I say gap in terms of leadership, I'm talking about the young people. I'm not talking about Sharpton and Daughtry and Siraj and me and subhanAllah, even though we're still around, yeah. We're still around. Some of us have passed on, some of us are still around, Muslim and non-Muslim. You know, we're the elders, we got experience, man. We can hold some of these young boys who throwing all these bricks and burning down the police precinct. You know, we can give them some guidance. You know, we ain't gonna judge them. But the bottom line is, you know, the young people got to step up, though. I'm gonna leave you with that. You know? Wake up out of your stupor. Wake up out of your sleep. You know, get over the high. Get over the high. Get over the hang-up, man. Get over that stuff. Get organized. It's the youth that's going to make a difference. And I don't mean the ones that's out there 10 or something. No, they ain't going to make a difference. They're going to lock you up, put you in jail. That's what's going to happen, ultimately. And paint the rest of us, all of us, in a bad light. So you heard what Trump said. thugs. When they start looting, it's time to start shooting. How you gonna say something like that? That's what he said. Show you where his head is at. And all he does is just add fuel to the fire. So young people got to step up. See? In the 50s and the 60s, it was the young people that made a difference. You know, when Malcolm and King got started, when they got started, you know, them organizations working on behalf of our people, they were in their mid-20s, man. They were 25 and 27 years old. They were young. And all those that joined them, all those brothers who, you know, like Huey Newton and the founder of the Panthers and Stokely Carmichael, they were born in the 40s, man. All of them icons. So when they got started, they was in their 20s, man. When King them got started, what they were doing in terms of civil rights activism, you know, like, you know, Stokely Carmichael and them was their students, man. They were the next generation, and they were born in the late 30s and early 40s. I mean, they was in their 20s, man. All of them giants, man. They made a difference. They didn't waste their youth away. You see? They were productive. And they made a difference. They made a difference. They made a difference, man. Things happened. You know, there was a movement. You know, they wanted change. You see? So in order to do that, in order to make that happen, we have to make the commitment. So you young people. When I say young people, I'm talking about those in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, and maybe some of you in your 50s. And the elders are, you know, we still here. We still here making some noise, trying to make a difference and whatnot, but it's really going to be up to you. You know, and you have to, and you look at the world we're living in. Look at the world we're living in. You got children. You got sons and daughters of your own, or you're going to have sons and daughters of your own. How long can this go on? Do you want your son to grow up to be harassed and brutalized and shut down? You know what I'm saying? Because he or she is black. Because this system is still intact. We didn't change it. And it can be changed. It can be. See? But you got to be on it 24/7. You can't stop. Some of us haven't stopped. Some of us haven't stopped. We've been going 5 decades plus. That's why I tip my hat. Kudos to all of those great leaders in our community, black and otherwise. You know, they're still struggling. They come out and say something, you know, and try to, you know, advise the young people. You see? But it's not our time. It's not our time. It's your time. Those of you who are in your 20s, again, those of you in your 30s and your 40s, it's you. You're the youth. You're the future. You can't make a difference. You know? You can make the change. You see? But we got to be organized, though. You know? Get good, join the organization. You know, build a movement. Make it strong. You know, fight the good fight. You know, set some goals. You know, fight the good fight. Man, don't live an empty life. A life that's just casual and that ain't how we supposed to be. We supposed to be purposeful people, especially as Muslims. Purpose. And being connected with a cause, the cause of justice and good for people. So I close just on this note that the Prophet ﷺ, he said, when someone asked him, who does Allah love the most? Who does Allah love the most? And the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, the one that benefits others. The one that benefits others, meaning the one that cares for others. The one that does for others. The one that goes outside of himself and looks out for people. One that does things that people benefit from. That means you can't be an individual. When you look at what's going on, you can't be an individual. You know? So be of those whom Allah loves. You see? And the Prophet also was asking, what is the best act? What is the best act we can do? And the Prophet ﷺ, or the best act that Allah loves. And the Prophet ﷺ said to remove an obstacle from the path, or to make someone happy. You see? Or to take care of their need. You see? Or to remove a debt. You see? Or to feed a person that's hungry. Service. See? Service. That's what the black community needs. Workers. It's like the Islamic community needs workers. Bottom line. Not those who just sit in the mosque and zikr all day. No, we got to get active and working. You know, we're living in a real world. We're the world. You see? And we can make the difference in terms of change. We have to become more proactive. You know, have great empathy, and we should always gotta have great empathy and sympathy to the people who are being oppressed. Not to condone their wrongdoings and their transgression. No, you know, don't get confused. You know what I'm saying? You know, just to understand what's going on. And try to, you know, again, show a caring hand, or give a caring hand. I can help what you need. How can I help you? That kind of approach. You know, we've suffered a long time, man. And we're still suffering. And I see the people out there in the street, they're still suffering, man. You know, even in their ignorance, they're still suffering. But there's a lot of good people who mean well for black people, you know, from other ethnic groups. And they ain't caught up in no color thing. It's about the humanity of people. And they want to do something. They're sick and tired too. And they ought to be. You know, we live in an integrated world today, you know. And of course, we know Islam teaches that racism has no place in Islam. It just, you know, it just has its place in the hearts of some of us Muslims, you know, who have weak iman. Who have weak iman. And we know this was not the way of the Prophet. The Prophet fought against that, you see. But of course, you know, again, it's in this society, it's real, and we feel the effects of it, you see. So we have to work for change, man. And so part of working for change, even for our own community, you know, and the broader community, man, you know, being involved and being connected with the struggle for change, you know, to remove the racism, to remove all the injustices that we see, we have to do it, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, bless you all. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow you to receive and be receptive to the things I've said and shared with you today. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raise us up. May Allah help and guide our people. You know, may Allah, you know, again, remove the calamity that is upon, you know, our world. You know, the ummah, you know, the global ummah, you know, all of the people, you know, this demon, this virus, you know, and you know, because you know, you see the people out there, you know, protesting, they're not even thinking, they're so angry, man. You know, they ain't thinking about covering their mouths and their faces, many of them. They look, you say, wow, look at this crowd. I thought we were supposed to be 6 feet apart. Man, how did this happen? People just, they don't care. They don't care. They lose it, man. That's the level. You should never get that like that way. People lost hope. And that's what the anger is about. I'm tearing up stuff. They lost hope. Well, ain't got nothing to lose. You slaughtered my brother. You choke him to death. The man is on the ground dying. And another thing, subhanAllah, you know, all 4 of those officers should be arrested. All of them. Yes. All of them. All of them are guilty. Guilty of sin because they're accessory to the crime, man. They should have watched it. And yet all of the bystanders and the people around them saying, yo, man, let the guy breathe. I mean, the man is on the ground crying, calling on his mother, man. Mom. I heard that on the tape. Child, mom, you're killing me. And the guy sitting on his neck, man, sitting on his neck with his hand in his pocket. You know, like, wow, what arrogance, man. And the other guys standing around like, man. All of them need to be convicted. And I say that because I remember reading a statement in the life of the Prophet, in the life of Umar ibn al-Khattab. He was the Caliph. And the word had got to him that some young person was murdered in one of the cities. And Umar put out an edict. You know what I'm saying? You know, if the whole town was part of that or was an accessory to that, I would punish all of them. If I found out, I would punish everybody in the town. He made a statement, something like that. Because of the value of the human life. We don't do that. And the injustice that it causes to a person. You see? I hold all of them responsible. And so those other officers that was there that saw that and didn't stop and didn't hold his hand, they're culpable. You know, and they should be, and I see other people still angry because they need to be arrested too. So again, may Allah give us ease, give us calm. Help us all to get through this and make us more, you know, proactive, more connected, you know, more aware, you know, doing what we can do to help all the different groups, you know what I'm saying, you know, gain the equality, you know, that's due them in this country. Give us ease to deal with the, you know, the stigma the remnants, you know,
Ameen.
of the slavery, and you know, and so we can move forward, inshallah.
Ameen.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
Ameen. Barakallah fi.
Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters. Please send your donations to our website, MASJIDALLAHUAKBAR.org. That's MASJIDALLAHUAKBAR.org. Under the Donate Now portion of our homepage, it will direct you to PayPal, or you can send it through our CASHAPP. Our CASHAPP hashtag is $MASJIDALLAHUAKBAR. That's $MASJIDALLAHUAKBAR. You can also use our masjid phone number, which is 631-335-2190. That's 631-335-2190. You can also send it straight to our banking account. That's routing number 221-473-652, checking account number 997-930-0606. This is for Project Allahu Akbar. If you have any questions on how to send the donations, you can contact me, Shahid Hanif, at 516 area code 743-8752, or the masjid phone number again, 631-335-2190. You know, we encourage you to spend fi sabilillah. This is the month of giving. This is the month of Ramadan. Inshallah, we need all the help that we can. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khair.